Now, let us continue with the rest of the medicines. Oak, exhaustion, overwork, workaholic, fatigue, overachiever. These are the keywords related to oak. Now, let us look at the indications of oak. When you're exhausted but keep struggling on. For people, those who are struggling and fighting strongly to get well or in connection with the affairs of the daily life, they will go on trying one thing after another, though their case may seem hopeless. They will fight on. They are discontented with themselves if illness interferes with their duties or helping others. They are brave people fighting against great difficulties without loss of hope or effort. Olive, lack of energy, fatigue. These are the keywords related to olive. Now, let us look at the indications. When you are exhausted with no reserves of strength or energy. For people, those who have suffered much mentally or physically and are so exhausted and weary that they feel they have no more strength to make any effort. Daily life is a hard work for them without pleasure. Pine, guilt, humble, apologetic, shame, unworthy, undeserving. These are the keywords related to pine. Now let us look at the indications. When you feel guilt and self reproach, not necessarily based on any actual wrongdoing, but destroys the possibility of joy in living. For those people who blame themselves, even when they become successful, they think they could have done better and are never satisfied with their decisions they make. For example, they would also think, would this remedy help me to stop blaming myself for everything? Next, we would see about red chestnut. Worried, over concern, fear. These are the keywords related. Now, let us look at the indications. When you feel over concerned and worried for others. For people, those who find it difficult not to be anxious for other people. Often, they have ceased to worry about themselves, but for those off. Next would be Rockrose. Frozen fear, terror. These are the keywords related to Rockrose. Now, let us look at the indications. When you feel terror or after a nightmare, the feeling that you can't react or move. The remedy of emergency for cases where there even appears no hope in accident, serious or sudden illness, or when the patient is very frightened or terrified, or if the condition is serious enough to cause great fear to those around. If the patient is not conscious, the lips may be moistened with the remedy. Rock water. Self repression, self denial, self perfection, overwork, self sacrificing. These are the keywords related to rock water. Now let us look at the indications. The people are too strict and set too high standards for themselves to the point of self domination. These are people who are very strict in their way of living. They deny themselves many of the joys and pleasures of life because they consider it might interfere with their work. They are hard masters to themselves. They wish to be well and strong and active and will do anything which they believe will keep them so. They hope to be examples which will appeal to others who may then follow their ideas and be better as a result. Scleranthus, indecision, imbalance, uncertainty, dizziness. These are the keywords related to Scleranthus. Now, let us look at the indications. When you suffer from indecision, particularly when faced between two choices. For people, those who suffer much, being unable to decide between the two things. First, one seeming right, then the other. They are usually quiet people and bear their difficulty alone, as they are not inclined to discuss with others. Star of Bethlehem. Trauma, after effect of shock, post traumatic stress. These are the keywords related to Star of Bethlehem. Now, let us look at the indications for after effects of trauma and traumatic experience. For those people in great distress under conditions which for a time produce great unhappiness, the shock of seriousness, the loss of someone dear, the fright following an accident, and such like conditions. This remedy brings comfort. Sweet chestnut. Extreme mental anguish, hopeless, despair, intense sorrow. These are the keywords related to sweet chestnut. Now, let us look at the indications. When you feel hopeless, despair, and you feel an intense sorrow and feel destroyed by it. For those moments which happen to some people when the anguish is so great as it seems to be unbearable, when the mind or body feels as if it had borne to the uttermost limit of its endurance and that now it must give way, when it seems there is nothing but destruction is left. Vervain. Over enthusiasm, hyperactive, fanatical, highly strung. These are the keywords related to vervain. Now, let us look at the indications of vervain. For people who are strong willed and highly strung with minds that race ahead of events. For those people with fixed principles and ideas which they are confident are right and which they very rarely change. They have a great wish to convert all around them to their own views of life. They are strong of will and have much courage when they are convinced of those things that they wish to teach. In illness, they struggle on long after many would have given up their duties. Wine. Domineering, inflexible, very capable, gifted, bullying, aggressive. These are the keywords related to wine. Now, let us look at the indications. For those who dominate others, they know better than everyone else and put others down. Very capable people, certain of their own ability, confident of success, being so assured, they think that it would be for the benefit of others if they could be persuaded to do things as they themselves do or as they are certain is right. Even in illness, they will dare their attendance. There may be of great value in emergency. Walnut. Change, link breaker, menopause, puberty, moving, let go of the past, protection. These are the keywords related to walnut. Now, let us look at the indications. Protection from outside influences and energies helps you adjust to major changes. For those who have definite ideals and ambitions in life and are fulfilling them, but on rare occasion they are tempted to let away from their own ideas, aims, and work by enthusiasm, convictions, or strong opinion of others. This remedy gives constancy and protection from outside influences. Water violet. Proud, lonely, antisocial, disdainful, self reliant, private. These are the keywords related to water violet. Now, let us look at the indications. People who feel lonely because they have a tendency to appear proud and antisocial. For those who in health or illness like to be alone. Very quiet people who move about without noise. Leave people alone and go their own way. Often clever and talented. Their peace and calmness is a blessing to those around them. White chestnut. Repeated unwanted thoughts, mental arguments, concentration, sleeplessness, insomnia. These are the keywords related to white chestnut. Now, let us look at the indications. When your mind is cluttered with thoughts or mental arguments, you may be unable to sleep because of the thoughts. People, for those who cannot prevent thoughts, ideas, arguments which they do not desire from entering their minds. Usually, at such times, when the interest of the moment is not strong enough to keep the mind full, thoughts which worry and still remain, or if for a time thrown out, will return. They seem to circle around and around and cause mental torture. The presence of such unpleasant thoughts drives out peace and interferes with being able to think only of the work or pleasure of the day. Wild oat, crossroad in life, decision making, lack of clarity, drifting in life. These are the keywords related to wild oat. Now, let us look at the indications. When you are uncertain of correct path in life, helpful when you need to make an important decision. People, for those who have ambitions to do something of prominence in life, who wish to have much experience and to enjoy all that which is possible for them, to take life to the full. Their difficulty is to determine what occupation to follow, as although their ambitions are strong, they have no calling which appeals to them above all others. This may cause delay and dissatisfaction. Wild rose, resignation, lost motivation, lack of ambition. These are the keywords related to wild rose. Now, let us look at the indications. For anyone who is resigned to an unpleasant situation, whether illness, a monotonous life, or an uncongenial work. People, for those without apparently sufficient reason, become resigned to all that happens and just glide through life and take it as it is, without any effort to improve things and find some joy. They have surrendered to the struggle of the life without complaint. Willow, self pity, unpleasantness, shortchanged, poor, sulky, irritable, bitterness, blame, complain. These are the keywords related to willow. Now, let us take a look at the indications. When you feel resentment, self pity, and bitterness, you would like to regain a sense of humor and proportion. For people, those who have suffered adversity or misfortune and find difficult to accept without complaint, as they judge life much by the success which it brings. They feel that they have not deserved. They often take less interest and are less active in those things of life which they had previously enjoyed. Rescue remedy. It is a combination of cherry plum, clematis, impatiens, rockrose, and star of Bethlehem. It is used for all purpose, mainly used in emergency, shock, terror, panic, upset, examination fear, and other emergencies. It may also be externally applied for burns, animal bites, and sprains. It can be also used as an external remedy for cut wound like vegetable cut or cut during shaving. If you consume 2 to 3 drops of rescue remedy during period times, it controls the heavy flow of periods and it avoids tiredness. It's an all-in-one remedy. It can be used in emergency and it acts as a first aid medicine. If you want to get normal delivery, consume it daily during the 8th and 9th month of the pregnancy. Now, let us take a look at some of the combination of Bach flower remedies. To get rid of drug addiction, chestnut bud, and walnut. And to get employed in a good concern, chestnut bud, water violet, red chestnut, rockrose, and elm. To get deep knowledge of batch flower remedies, chestnut bud, mustard, and water violet. To get rid of problems related to uterus, consume chicory, willow, and chestnut bud. To enhance creativity, clematis and white chestnut. For greedy persons, clematis and vervain. To increase the height of children who is below 18 years, they can take crabapple and hornbeam. To succeed in life, they can take elm, gorse, and larch. Before going to clinic or a multi-specialty hospital, take elm and water violet to get permanent and complete cure in short period of time with least drugs. To get good income in your own business, take gauze and agrimony. To get rid of obstacles in your own life and succeed, consume gorse, hornbeam, chestnut bud, oak, and water violet. To see a complete change and total transformation in students' studies and character, hornbeam and mustard. For diabetic patients below 25 years, they can consume mimulus, white chestnut, walnut, and gentian so that the diabetic level will be maintained. For BP having patients below 25 years, they can consume mimulus, walnut, and white chestnut. To get married soon, they can consume mustard, sweet chestnut, and walnut. For promotion in job, they can consume sweet chestnut and red chestnut. For hormonal problems during menopause period, they can consume walnut and wild oat. For happy married life, the husband and the wife can consume wild rose, willow, and white chestnut. To get rid of Sabapaba dosha, they can consume rockrose, pine, and impatience. If anybody needs batch flower remedies in a pills form, they can contact us through WhatsApp message only. We will send it through courier. I hope you all understood and it would be useful to you. Thank you. Let's meet on a next session. Until then, tata bye bye from Sneha.